savage. Yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty. Yeah. Acting stupid. What's happening? What's happening? I'm a savage.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. This is another week with She Evolves, and this is Ivy Nicole. If you are not already doing so, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I am live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's Ivy Nicole, y'all. Don't forget the H. It's NICHOLE. Don't forget the H. I'm going to say it 1,000 times. Don't forget it. It's no E in my first name, just straight up IVY. Or you can just go to ivynicole.com and follow me across all social media platforms. Now, for those that know me, know that I really don't get into like fads and trending topics, but every now and again I just can't help myself. So the latest is the Hoochie Daddy season. So I don't know what to really say about the Hoochie Daddy season, other than if you don't know what the Hoochie Daddy season is, I advise you to just go on TikTok and put in Hoochie Daddy shorts, right? There's millions of videos, probably, right? It's probably about 1,000,000 videos, right, out there about Hoochie Daddy season. So when I first actually looked at it,
millions of videos, probably, right?
Here it go. Oh,
that was me. Sorry.
So I'm thinking like, okay, wow, I think this is a lot deeper than what you would normally think it is, right? It's not just about the Hoochie Daddy season, but the whole idea that women have been objectified for so long, and now we flipping the switch. We're trading places, right? Because us who said it, we're trading places, and we never traded places back, right? So today she is no stranger to She Evolves. It is Monica Alexander. What's up?
What's going on today? How you feeling?
I'm great. How are you?
Today was a very good day. I was looking forward to this conversation, and we can get into it in a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know who don't know you. They should know you, but for shits and giggles, just reintroduce yourself.
So hello, everyone. My name is Monica Alexander. I am the owner of Balanced Body Network. It's a holistic health and wellness company. We do pain management, massage, and a million other things. I am a serial entrepreneur. I incubate small businesses, help them grow and accelerate their businesses, and I do that at no cost. And there's many, many other hats that I wear, but that's enough for today, because today we're about to get into it.
All right. Yeah, we're about to just get straight into it. First up, we're going to talk about Hoochie Daddy season overall. Like, what was your first thought, like the first time that you saw Hoochie Daddy? First, break down Hoochie Daddy season. Because, like, no one explains it better than Monica.
Actually, there's a young lady on TikTok that she puts out videos explaining exactly what the expectation is, and how we're going through this process. So, excuse me. So my first interaction with Hoochie Daddy season actually came out before the word Hoochie Daddy season was a thing. There was someone who spoofed men wearing rompers, and they was like, it's a romp him. And it was a young lady, catcalling the guy while he was, he got his twist freshly done, and he had his romper on. It was, the top and bottom was matching. He had his socks on. He had his clean Air Force Ones on, just to give you an idea how long ago this was. And he was feeling good about himself. And the sister was like, come here, shorty, let me talk to you for a minute. You know how the guys do women typically. And the brother was like, I'm a professional man. I'm just feeling really good in my new outfit. And here come this woman, catcalling me, and I don't appreciate it. I want to be respected as a man. And then the spoof goes on from there. And so I was like, oh, the tables have turned. And then, of course, with COVID, COVID changed a lot of things. We took our bras off and we said we're going to let our titties titty. And there are just some things that as women we're just not going back to. And then now that we're, we go through the fall season, and the men are definitely, they never disappoint us while we're having our pumpkin lattes. The men are in their gray sweatpants, representing very, very well. And thank you, gentlemen, for doing so. And so, but we had nothing else for the other seasons. The rest of the seasons was about, twerking shorts and sundresses. So for the guys, y'all had nothing to work with, and we all hate the denim. And so the saying is, if he's in denim, we don't want to see him in them. What we want to see is the kneecaps and about 2 inches or more of thigh meat. That's what we want to see, because what women like to see and what we like to experience is very different than what men do. And it's funny because you have some brothers or some men who are definitely embracing Hoochie Daddy season, and they're having fun with it because we're having fun with it. And then there's other men that are just angry, and they're like, absolutely not. And then you have that third group, which is the gentleman I was talking to a little bit earlier today. And he was like, well, if I wear these short shorts, is that going to get me some pee? And I was like, brother, it's not about what you want. It's about what she wants. And then as we continue to talk today, we're gonna talk more about what our expectations are and what we plan on doing with these Hoochie Daddies. So yeah, so there you have it.
Making them single fathers, right?
Making them single fathers. Listen, sir. Listen, sir.
Father, right?
Yep. It's a lady's way of saying let you shoot the club up. So
oh my God. Okay, Liz. Okay, so the whole idea of Hoochie Daddy season, like we talked about before, Monica, like we as women been so objectified for so long, right? Back in the day, I mean, let's take it back to music. Back in the day, we had Uncle Luke, 2 Live Crew, it was just like the over sexualization of women in bikinis twerking or whatever, right? But now here we fast forward and we got Megan Thee Stallion, we got Cardi B, we got Nicki Minaj, and they're kind of like, they turned the table saying, okay, well, this is what we want, this is how we feel, and this is how we perceive you, right?
Exactly. And what's funny is about those 3 women you just mentioned is even though they're classically known for being the queens or the leaders of the thought movement, but all of them are mothers and wives and successful business women. So while we sit here, and keep in mind, we're gonna be a little silly today, but just keep in mind, we are talking about grown women doing grown women things. And so, during the pandemic, when WAP came out, everybody act like that was the first sexualized song that a woman ever put out. And I mean, granted, WAP is amazing and it's fun and it's empowering and it's women owning their stuff. And it's and some people found it to be crass or whatever, but listen, we're just trying to have some fun. But you have to look back every 10 years or so. So you got Cardi doing it now. Before her, you had Little Kim. Before Little Kim, you had Adina Howard. Before Adina Howard, you had women in the 80s. Before the women in the 80s who was putting out, risque music, because Adina Howard was more late 80s, early 90s. That's why I didn't, label her which generation she belongs in or which decade. And then in the 70s, you had Millie Jackson. And then in the 60s, you had other women all the way back to the 20s where, listen, if you don't know about music back in the 20s, the dirty girl music from the 20s, she was crystal clear in what she wanted to say and what she had to say. So, I mean, we've had dirty girl music for over 100 years now. And so women have been slowly but surely, what's the word I'm looking for? Being more of an extrovert and owning their power and owning their femininity and saying it's okay that I'm a sexual creature and no, I don't have to be in love with some guy. There's a song out right now where the old girl saying the line, she say, just because we fucked you ain't my man, nigga. And so it's a thing where men have always said, well, women have to be in love or they have to like a guy. No, not at all. You just got to have on them right Hoochie Daddy shorts. So
So what is the difference? As we're talking about like music and women, right? So what is the difference between, let's say, Cardi B? I'm trying to think of a song. I mean, any song, right? Any song, right? Any Cardi B song,
Yeah.
and Tina Turner, Private Dancer,
Yes. I mean,
right?
that's a song definitely about sex trafficking or
Because
sex
it's
work. Yeah.
strictly, she straight up said, "I'm your private dancer, dancing for money, right? I do anything
Mhm.
that you ask me to do."
Yes, yes, indeed. And she wasn't talking about the mamba or the salsa or ballroom dancing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's no difference. It's some people say, well, Tina Turner was more of a lady about it.
Mhm.
Um, but what's the difference? I mean, language, language is it changes and it's based on the culture and the nuance and where the culture is. And when Tina Turner came out with Private Dancer, that was during an age where women still didn't completely have a voice. That was still in the era where we were just getting the legal right to open bank accounts without a man on our accounts. That was during the era where women were definitely being sexually harassed in the office, and it was expected. That's where the casting couch was. If you want this job, you're going to sit on this couch, and it's not for the interview process, because you got people being prosecuted now for those things that they did during that Tina Turner ladylike era. So yeah, I don't see much of a difference. I love Cardi. I love Cardi. I love Megan. I love Nicki. I love Lil Kim. I love Adina. I love them all the way back to the ladies of the 20s. And I'm sure if we could
About
get music,
Foxy,
we could put that before then. Oh, Foxy, absolutely.
we can't forget about Foxy Brown.
Cannot forget about Foxy. Cannot forget about Foxy. I love her too as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think
Or
as
Janet. I mean, every Janet
oh,
album.
Janet, yeah.
Janet has a freak nasty dirty girl song, explicit song in every album that she's ever put out, at least one. So, and she's the ultimate lady. Nobody's ever questioned if she was a
Okay, so
lady
why
or
no
not.
one question Beyonce?
Well,
Drum
because
roll of the politician, please.
yes, but Beyonce put that song out after she was long married. She didn't had a baby.
Right.
She had already, if she had put that song out while she was with Destiny's Child, even though they had the song Up Soldier,
Yeah.
um, but that was the group talking about, I want to go to the club and hang out with these baller type dudes. But if she had put out Partition when she was single, it would have a different connotation. But yeah, I mean, listen, Partition is what probably shouldn't say it. But Partition is what sparked every one of those pictures of me on top of my Jeep with that back arched, in that perfect scorpion shape. So
Now people about to go to your page.
I know, right? It's not on my Facebook page. The only way you're gonna find it is if you go over to TikTok.
Not even gonna be on TikTok Live.
I know you got Urban Escapee.
Check out Monica on TikTok.
Listen, don't judge me. TikTok is just me having a good time.
TikTok is fun, right?
TikTok is for fun. Yeah.
But like as we talk about um the movement now and the voice of women, right?
Yes.
And I think it's a very sensitive and crucial time now, especially during the Roe versus Wade being overturned and women not having their right, the women having their rights taken away from them.
Yes.
But yet on the flip side, we still have a voice, right?
Yes.
And it was proved last week when how many women in every state gathered and protested, right? They gathered together to say that we still have a voice in the matter, and you can't take away our rights because we've earned that, we work for that. You can't take away what happened, what you gave us 50 years ago, 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We just got our right to vote.
Yes.
It's only been 100 years.
Not even 100 yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's definitely address the pink elephant in the room. So the thing that people don't understand is that when you have a population of people in your midst that don't have and enjoy the freedom and full rights that you allegedly enjoy, just cut, paste, put person here, right? What people don't understand is it puts the foundation of all of our rights at risk. So whereas you have women who say, well, I've had my kids are grown, I'm beyond reproduction age, so this doesn't affect me. But Roe v. Wade was used to protect people's privacy, to protect people's individuality. So now that Roe v. Wade has been removed, that foundation has a big hole in it. And it opens the door for everything else that is a privilege, that allows you to have privacy. And rather, if you agree with abortion or not, and I'm just going to tell you what my position is, because I have no problem with saying what I believe. Personally, for Monica, if me and one of these hoochie daddies make a baby, I am pro-life. So that baby coming into this world. However, if somebody picks the phone up and call me and say, listen, I found this hoochie daddy and he's fine, and there's 3 side effects of sex, orgasm, STD, and pregnancy, and sometimes you hit the trifecta, and she doesn't want to have that baby, she should have the right and the freedom to go somewhere in a safe, clean environment to do what she needs to do based on her life and her situation. And the same thing if a guy decides that he doesn't want a baby to come into this world. So on a ballot, I will always be pro-choice. But for my own personal life, I am, at this point in my life, I'm definitely pro-life. And so I kind of sit in the middle of this. But if I got to vote on it, we have no business voting on someone else's reproduction. That we have no business doing that, especially since we don't have a new healthcare bill that we were promised 6 years ago. We still don't have one. So how are we focusing on this one thing when you overturn Roe v. Wade because it's a moral issue, but yet IVF is still legal? Now, I believe in IVF. I know a lot of girlfriends of mine that have had their children through IVF. But if you're saying this is a moral thing because God made that baby should come into this world, well, then you shouldn't have to be able to get IVF, because now you're playing God to bring life into this world. So again, what people don't understand is while you're busy kicking the chair out from underneath one person, your chair is coming. It's just a matter of time or how important it is for them to get to your chair, because it's a serious thing. So that I just wanted to make sure I addressed that real quick.
And like I say all the time, like folks are pro-life until your side chick get pregnant.
That part. They're pro-life until their track star child who's on a full ride scholarship and they're the family sweetheart to take or the boy who has a football scholarship, or the boy who's about to go into the NFL, or or the girl who's about to go to the Olympics. Everybody is pro-life until, or like I like to say, everybody has a plan until Mike Tyson punched you in the face, and then your brain gets scrambled, and then you try to regroup, and now you understand what the problem is. We allow so many things in this country, BBLs, plastic surgery, Viagra, all these things that are not life-saving or don't do anything for the economy as a whole, but we don't have conversations about those things. But yet and still we want to control women. And my whole thing is this: a woman's reproductive systems, we have no control over when our ovaries ovulate. We have no control over what the day our cycle drops. But a guy has 100% control over when his soldiers come out of the barrel. So instead of focusing on the uterus, you need to be looking at the penis. And since we're talking about penises, let's go back to these hoochie daddy shorts. So
Speaking of, let's talk about the hoochie daddy shorts, right? But like I was saying, it is definitely go far beyond just the hoochie daddy shorts.
yes.
The cat call it men. It definitely is more or less about just taking our power back.
Yes.
Because it took so long for us to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And now like the government is in our business.
Yeah.
Like you have no right, no place in Mama JJ when there's
many other important things that
there's
need to be
so
done.
many things going on in the world. that needs to be addressed. You know, I saw something that said, you know, guns have more rights than women.
Facts. Facts.
You know,
Because guns are protected by our Constitution.
right, right. The right to bear arms. I mean, which I solely 100% support. You
Yes.
know, but again, you know, like why is it that you know we can't get gun laws? Why is it okay for you to just you know pull up and get an AK?
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
walking down the street, you know, whatever. I'm about to just pull up, get an
Yeah.
AK.
There's
I'm
no
getting a couple of
requirement.
them.
There's no requirement to take a class before. It's funny because before we put a 15 and a half year old behind the wheel with their learner's permit, and we all love our 15 and a half year olds, and they have the cute little bumper sticker that says, you know, student driver, please be patient, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through a several month class. They have to pass the class. Then they have to go to the Secretary of State or Department of Motor Vehicles, depends on what state you're in. And then they have to take another exam, a written exam. And then they have to get on the road and show someone, I know what I'm doing with this before someone gives me my license. And you can do well on the written test, you can do well on a road test. But if that examiner feels like something's quite not right with you behind the wheel, even though you really didn't make any mistakes, they can still require you to come back for that exam again. But you're absolutely right. But someone can walk into, and keep in mind, I'm a small arms instructor, and I'm definitely supporting the Second Amendment, and I'm not trying to take anybody's guns or ammo away from them. I kind of feel like, I'm gonna pause for a second, I kind of feel like they're doing guns and ammo like we did abortion. They didn't get rid of abortion, they just made it hard to access. So it's hard to get ammunition at the rate in which you want it at a reasonable price. But you can still get your gun. You know, the building is still there, but you can't do anything with the building because you can't access it. But I do think it's pretty interesting that we look at cars as something that can cause major harm and cause our municipalities money by you running into things. And we have stop gates and safety checks and police officers and things like that's in place so that you can, to make sure that you're a good quality, safe driver. Plus you have to have insurance and all these other kind of things. But when it comes to firearms, just go buy one. And my whole thing is that, well, I have firearm insurance, but most people don't. You know, they don't have insurance for their firearms. Right. They don't take classes. They don't have a organization that they're affiliated with that educates them on the law in their state, in their municipalities, or in their region about firearms and which ones you can use and what's the criteria and how to conduct yourself when you're on a range. Most people don't have that because there's no requirement of it unless you luck up and get into an organization like NAGA, NAAGA.co, or Black Bottom Gun Club, where that is paramount. You know, there are training facilities. They are all about making sure that people are responsible gun owners. So I agree with you. However, I do love the fact that women are the #1 leading population of people in the country that are new gun owners, because we're running households and we are real estate agents and we are delivery drivers and we're out by ourselves in dangerous situations, and we want to make sure that we can protect ourselves. However, you take a class, and if you go through one of those really quick classes, I'm just going to say it like that, you don't really get what you need to be able to truly be able to carry that firearm. You know, so you definitely don't have insurance. You definitely aren't affiliated with an organization and things like that. But I love that women are continuously stepping out and taking their power back and owning their environment. We were talking offline about how during World War II, you know, America went to war and they needed the women to go into the factories and work. You know, these women were homemakers, and now they're manufacturing tanks. And then right now you have women in the armed forces where they are tank mechanics. You know, I have a niece that she's been on active duty for over 6 years, and she's a senior enlisted person, and that's what she does. She's a tank mechanic, and it's beautiful to see someone so delicate and so feminine climbing up and around and getting things done to protect our country. So I love that at least since World War II, we have been out in the front lines answering the call. We came into the workplace after World War II in the 70s and 80s. during Vietnam era. And then obviously, you know, we got our stride in our 90s and we realized we had glass ceilings and we started breaking those glass ceilings all the way to the point now. Today, you know, I watched the confirmation from Madam SCOTUS, Supreme Court Justice Jackson, you know, and it made me cry. And, you know, we have a vice president that's female, and we have women across the nation in these very senior roles doing really big things that impact our world in a very real way. And I love that. And so as we talk about the Hoochie Daddy shorts and the Hoochie Daddy phenomenon and how the roles are changing a little bit, it's just, I think the playing field is really just now starting to become even, where women can speak up and speak out. And now we're talking about a sexuality with like Cardi B's WAP, you know, so yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I just thought about it. Let's not forget Detroit's own Cash Doll.
Yes, absolutely, Cash Doll. Cannot.
Let's not forget
Absolutely.
our very own Cash Doll.
Absolutely.
You know, because Cash Doll was born and raised in Detroit. You know, if you follow her story, she had a hard life. She grew up in the hood and she made it. She's a business owner. She's a businesswoman.
Yes, indeed.
You
And
know,
it's not easy. That's a very hard industry to break into and to premiere in and to gain the respect of, you know, other women that's in that industry and men in that industry, where you hear guys playing her music. And I love that when I'm going down the street and I'll hear somebody bumping her and I'm like, that's a guy. You know, it's one thing you see a woman playing her, but that's a dude. You know, so that's awesome.
I totally, you know, support the movement. And, you know, like as we were talking about, just like the female rappers of today and yesterday, you know, how everything has changed, everything has shifted. I mean, if we're business owners, why can't we have what we want?
Exactly.
If we're making strides in society, why can't we have what we want? Right?
Absolutely.
It's almost as if like you have to stay prim and proper. The whole, oh, she's too masculine, she's too aggressive, she's too this.
Yes.
Just kind of stay in a woman's place kind of deal. That's all of that is over with.
It's over with, and it's funny because it never was real. It was what you saw on television. That's what television is. Tell a vision. That's what that was. That was never real. Everybody knows their grandmother. If you're over the age of 40, close your eyes for 30 seconds and picture your grandmother. Now picture your grandmother talking to your uncles and talking to your grandfather. She was not the one to play with. Pawpaw sat on the front porch. He had his little bottle of Ripple next to him. And what he say? I ain't fooling with her. She crazy. You know, so this fantasy that women need to stay in their place and that women, we talk too much or we talk back or whatever. Everybody knows, you know, the story in the 80s of Al Grits Green. I mean, so that's that era of woman that supposedly was the prim and proper girl. But no, them church girls will hit you upside the head with a frying pan and then cook you a meal, you know? So, you know, women have been tough for a very long time. We're just putting it out in public now.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned earlier about breaking the glass ceiling. Yeah. You know, it kind of goes hand in hand with the Hoochie Daddy season, right? Because as we broke the glass ceiling, there was also the Me Too movement scrambled up in it, right? Yes. To where if you're not pretty, you know, you're not going to get the job. You get the job and then you're sexualized at work. You're being sexually harassed. But now we live in a society where it's just like, okay, pull up.
Yeah. Yeah, we say what we want, and now keep in mind that's not all women. You know, women. There's no one shoe that fits every woman's foot. That's what Cinderella was trying to tell everybody in her fairy tale. Everybody can't fit in the same shoe, nor were we ever designed to. So by no stretch of the imagination am I trying to say that every woman is catcalling and looking for hoochie daddies and that kind of thing. You still have some very proper women who believe in the old-fashioned values and the old-fashioned ways, and they're having a very successful life living in that space. As it relates to the business environment, it's crazy because, when I am out, like if my guy calls me and I've had meetings all day long, I tell him, I say, just talk to me for a couple of minutes. Don't talk to me too long if I'm in the middle of work, because I am definitely in my masculine zone, because I'm chewing people's heads off and, basically whizzing on trees and showing them that mine's bigger than theirs, because that's the environment that business is in. You don't get to be soft and feminine in business, because if you do, you'll end up, getting the coffee and cleaning up the conference room once everybody leaves and taking everybody's food order. So it's a tough place. Business is a tough place for women. And we do have to ride the fence and be masculine at work. And sometimes it takes us a couple of minutes. I know it takes me a couple of minutes to pull that thing back and put it away. And where I'm thinking I'm being soft with my guy, he's like, why are you barking at me? It's like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, and then I kind of fix it and do something different. But yeah, it's that glass ceiling, that the fact that we are starting to break it in all the different arenas and areas is amazing. And I applaud women. I will say, if I'm being honest, I'm really sick and tired of hearing about the first woman ever. It's 2023. Why are we still having first woman evers? But it's the society in which we live in. But I'm just happy that we are here to celebrate with those women and those first woman evers, because we're turn of the century women.
Yeah, and I think it was a documentary I saw. It was a Nicki Minaj documentary, actually.
Okay.
And she was pretty much saying that, why is it that when I walk in a room and I demand something, oh, Nicki's a bitch, she's this, she's doing this, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when Wayne comes in and say the exact same thing, oh, he's a boss, he bossed up.
Because, yeah. Well, when I was in the military, I remember I was very junior enlisted. I was on board ship. It was 15 women and I think like 156 guys, and it may be, 148 to 156 guys. And I remember my supervisor he was 2 ranks ahead of me. And I was getting mad at him because all he ever gave me to do was like a cleanup type detail. Anything that required heavy lifting or doing anything that required any strength, he never would give me those assignments. And some of those assignments meant extra pay because it's hazardous duty. And so I cornered him one day and I asked him about it. He was a Southern gentleman with a very thick Southern accent. And he said, well, I would never ask my wife to do that. I said, is your wife in our branch of service? He said, no. I said, stop looking at me as a woman. Look at me as a person who might be capable of doing X, Y, or Z. If I can't do it, I said, there's guys who can't lift the Connex boxes or pull them or do anything with them, whereas I can. But you're giving them the opportunity to, and then you bring 2 or 3 extra guys along to help him move stuff that I only need one person to help me move. And he was like, yeah, but you're a woman. I never want to, put you in a position that I would put a man in. And I said, but that's the thing that I signed up for. And I think there's a time and a place to treat women like women. In the workplace is not one of them. If you have a limitation where you can't lift something, then that's what your limitation is. And then ADA it allows for that. It doesn't matter what your gender is. But I think that we have to stop looking at people based on their gender and look at them based on their skill set, their skills, desire, and abilities. And I think that will cut that out, because I agree. I didn't see the Nicki documentary, but I've heard that all too often, that when a woman is being strong, she's a bitch, or she must be on her period, or she needs to get laid, or that's why her husband is not happy at home, or something derogatory. But when it's a man, he gets a pass. Or at one point, my husband and I were stationed together. And if one of the kids were sick, I would call him and be like, yo, I need you to take the afternoon off and go get so-and-so from school because they're sick. And he never had a problem with, hey, I gotta go, and he worked in the operations side of things. So he was definitely a needed person. I worked on the administrative side of things. So if I left for the afternoon, the universe is not going to come to an end. But anytime I needed to leave because one of the kids were sick, there was always a, what's your plan B for your plan C? But when he needed to leave, it was, oh, okay. Like he could leave for the kids. If I had a doctor's appointment, he could leave to take me to the doctor, but I couldn't do that. The role that it was very, very different.
Mm.
So,
And I think, that's the whole point of the Hoochie Daddy season.
mhm,
The era of women that we have, the double standards, the
yes.
gender roles, right?
Mhm,
It is often misunderstood as far as gender roles, the
yes.
masculinity, femininity. What
Mhm,
are you supposed to be? Well, it depends on what environment I'm in,
yeah.
right? Because I'm not going to be all cutesy and dainty in a corporate world. You're
Mhm.
never going to get anywhere.
Yes. No, they'll run you over. They'll overtalk you. You'll never get the promotion. You'll never get the high account. You know, and then you have to be careful because you can't be too aggressive because then the guys will feel like you're trying to emasculate the other men in the room. It's
Mm.
it's it's an interesting dance. It's a very interesting dance.
So, as you said, the males feel some type of way, they in their feelings. Just as the men today feel some type of way about the Hoochie Daddy season. So why is it okay for men to sexualize women, objectify us,
Yeah.
have us in rotation, all of the above, right?
Hmm. Yeah. But we can't do that. It's funny because so like Hoochie Daddy, I think it's only been around since the pandemic. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody say something in the comments. But it's funny how they are not liking it at all. They don't want to be objectified. They don't like the idea of women talking to them like that, or even once the guy says, no, I have a girlfriend or I have a wife or I'm not interested. And then the
Oh yeah.
woman uses well, you fat anyway. Nobody was trying to talk to you for real. I was just trying to be nice. My guy friends are not digging this at all. And I said to them, I said, so now you understand what women have been talking about, when they walk past construction sites back in the day, or if a woman is in a nightclub, if a guy, tries to talk to her, she has to at least talk to him for 30 seconds and hope a friend comes and rescues her real quick so that she's not trapped there. Because if she doesn't, it can become a very dangerous situation for her. And we're doing it and we're being real silly about it, and having a lot of fun with it. But it's funny how men are taking it seriously. They were like, these shorts are not Hoochie Daddy shorts. These are just basketball shorts. I'm like, nah, I see kneecaps and thigh meat, them Hoochie Daddies, and just because I know I've gotten their goat. So now I'm going, I'm gonna do that pimp named Slickback, kind of stuff to them. And they are not having it.
So the guys that what are they saying? What are their opinion?
So I was talking with a friend right before we got on live, and I was telling him about today's topic, and he was like, "Well, if I, because he likes to wear denim, and he wears the denim shorts that go down to the calves, that's oversized, and he got the 6 foot, biker dude chain, attached to his wallet on his side. And this is African American brother,
Okay.
and I've always told him, I said, listen, those women don't want to see that. And he's like, well, I like them. They're comfortable. I'm like, but y'all you want us to dress for you. You need to dress for, you guys need to dress for us. And so I told him the statement of, if you're in denim, we don't want to see you in them. And he said, well, if I put these shorts on and I'm showing my legs, he said, is that going to get me some pussy? And I said, sir, Hoochie Daddy shorts, you wearing them has nothing to do with you. It's everything about us. We want to see thigh meat. So show us some thigh meat. Because when you guys want to see us in sundresses and twerking shorts, and you want us to bust it wide open and be able to do the
Oh, and the
Chinese
heels,
splits and the heels that are
heels.
uncomfortable and the
God.
short dresses in the middle of winter and no coat on because you want to see that thing wobble when they walk in front of you. As guys say, I hate to see you go, but I like to watch you leave, you
Uh-huh.
know. I said, we do this for you all year round. And I remind guys, I said, when you're downtown in your city or you're anywhere in a nightclub type environment, look at the guy and what he has on, and then look at the girl. That guy got dressed in about 7.2 minutes. That includes tying his shoes, grabbing his keys, and getting in the car. That woman started getting dressed 4 hours before the date. And she got on heels and a beautiful dress, and she's lotioned down, and she smells good, and her face is beat to the gods. Her hair is laid, her nails and her toes are done. We put a lot of energy and work into looking good for ourselves and also for you guys. But y'all go in the closet, grab a new t-shirt, throw on some jeans, a fitted, and some sneaks, and you out the door. No, put them hoochies on. Put them hoochie daddy shorts on. Let me see that thigh meat. Let me see if you did leg day.
Okay, and you know what? And that brings up another point. So the other debate that, you know, men think that women dress for other women because we're in competition with other women, and guys really don't care about all that.
They seem to still think that women dress for them. And they're like, they think that we're trying to impress them. And and it's like, I talk to women and I listen to women. And a lot of times women, and matter of fact, I remember when it was the Braxtons was on, and I'm probably gonna get some shade for this, but Tamar was letting her sisters have it because she was talking about her husband and how he's a real man and how he does this and how he buys her that and he has all this stuff. It really wasn't, that conversation was not about how much her husband really loves her. That conversation was, check this out, chicks. I got something y'all don't, so y'all need to listen to me, which elevated her above her sisters. So a lot of times, you know, guys will say, we don't like the weeds and we don't like the eyelashes. And women say, well, I'm not wearing this for you, because they're not. They do weave and eyelashes. Some women do it because they really enjoy it. You know, women put makeup on because they want to look in the mirror and see their lips looking luscious, and they wear pretty bra and panties because they want to see their booty look good when they're getting dressed in the morning. But for the most part, when I listen to women talk, it is truly about competition with each other, that I'm better than you, that I need you to bow down and kiss my feet because I'm the queen. And is that right or wrong? The jury's out, and I really don't have an opinion on that. But it really has nothing to do with the guys, because I've seen guys holler at women and she looked like she just rolled out the back end of a dumpster, and guys was interested. And I've seen women beat to the gods and guys are talking to her. So women, we can do whatever we want to do. It don't matter what we look like. If a guy wants to be bothered with you, he's going to holler at you. That's just that. So I can't think of what her name is. Is it Sweeney? Where she has the song called Mascara. And she talks about, she says she never leaves the house without her mascara on because there's always a new girl trying to take her place. And her dude told her, as long as you continue to look good and you're popping, I got you covered. So basically she can jet set and also the kind of stuff. I like the song a lot. It's a real mellow song, but it's called Mascara.
Mascara. So what about the TikTok that the girl put out about the 4 appetites?
Oh, refresh my memory. I remember it, but refresh my memory.
I think she said something to the extent of like, the man has 4 appetites.
Oh, her grandfather or her father. Her grandfather told her. Yeah, I think it was a man wants to have good food. He wants to have a good conversation or something with a pretty woman. He wants to be fucked. And I don't remember what the 4th one was. Finances. Was it finances? Because everything was F's, right?
No. Because I don't. So from what I understood, like, men don't really care about a woman's education.
Yes, don't care about your education. Don't care about how much money you make. A real man don't care what you bring to the table, because he don't want you bringing your table. He wants to provide the table. If you believe in the Bible, that's what it tells you. A man is to work and create an environment so that he can provide for and take care of his woman, the woman of his choosing. Jacob worked for 7 years in order to get Rachel. He got Leah, so then he had to work for 7 more years to get Rachel. So then he ended up with both of them. So he was taking care of both these women, and no, that's not a reason for you to have inside and outside women. No spouse and spices. That's not what I'm saying, fellas. So don't get excited. I'm just saying that a man will work until his fingers are numb to provide and get the woman that he wants, or the man that he wants, if same-sex couples, or woman to woman, man to man. And so, yeah, I agree with that. A man don't care what you do for a living. He wants to know, are you happy? If you 250 pounds, he'd rather you be 250 pounds and happy than dieting and angry. That's just it. Are you happy? And can I bring you more joy? Because I want to see that pretty smile of yours. I want a safe place to come home to. So yeah, I agree with that.
But now as we transition and talk about that, because women are evolving today.
Yes.
So
and we want the same thing.
We want the same thing, right? But now we're in the position to where I can't, throw away my education. I can't throw away my career because it is what it is. Because we've been in survival mode for so long.
For more than 30 years.
Right? Yes. So you can't come and take what I've worked for. So now in today's society, in this era, not all, but some men are intimidated by that. Even successful men, they like, nah, sis.
Well, it's I agree and disagree at the same time. Because women have to provide for themselves because of the way our society is set up. It's one of those things where you have to be able to provide for yourself. And in order to be able to provide a living wage for myself, you need to have two bachelor's degrees, two master's degrees, or a doctorate or something like that. Or you have to have 25 years in a career field. Because if not, you're going to be stuck making $20,000 a year, and who can live on that? And so I think the problem comes in is women haven't quite figured out, like I was talking about earlier, how to turn off work mode and go back to being gentle, because we've never had it. Most of us didn't grow up in a household, and you could have two parents in the home, right? Where we don't know how to be soft anymore, because it's been bred out of our society. We since the 80s, we've been 2-parent income households. We've had to have 2 and 3 jobs to sustain the American dream, or the American nightmare. Depends on how you want to look at it. So men don't.
Nightmare.
Yeah, but men are, and I'm saying this with a broad brush and 30,000 viewpoint, because I know there's some guys who can definitely handle a strong woman, making plenty of money, making more money than him. He's still coming home and being the man of the household, putting it down, being a good dad. He's doing, because I know plenty of brothers like that who it's not a problem for them. But when you are living in a fantasy world and all you have is television telling you how gender roles, you don't know what to do when you come in contact with a real woman who's been living on this earth for 30 plus years, who's had life experience, who's had good credit and bad credit and all kinds of things. It's just different, and it's hard. And we got too many rules on the table right now. We still got the old fashioned courting rules on the table, dating rules on the table, sneaky link on the table, polyandry is now on the table, just all kinds of things. So it's a tough time to be trying to find a mate. It's tough.
Like relationship rules, courting rules. So I'm happy that you brought that up, the whole courting rule, right? It's like you don't get a pass.
Correct.
For not courting.
Correct. But some women don't want to be courted. Some women say, first date, we can go Dutch. Let me see what that mouth do. And then once we get through this process, now we can get to know each other. And then you have other women who say, no, call me, talk to me on the phone, text me. Let's go have ice cream. Let's go have coffee. Go to church with me. Let's do some activities. We can do sex later. again, there's so many rules on the table. It's tough. It's tough.
But you got to find somebody that's willing to play by your rules.
Exactly. And you have, but the problem is most, remember when we did a couple of years ago, we did a thing called Cuffing and Confessions at Church of Messiah.
Oh, only at Church of the Messiah, right?
And that came,
and
that came out of a conversation between baby boomers all the way to Gen Zers. I mean, every generation was represented, men and women. And what we realized was most guys in their 40s who were saying, I don't want to be married no more. Now I'm going to have an affair after I've been married 20 plus years. It was because he never really wanted to end up married with a house and kids and bills in the first place. He was in high school. The girl was pretty. He figured if I carry her books, she'll walk next to me. When she walks next to me, I get a tingle in my nether regions. I like that. And then when he realized that, oh, she'll kiss me if I buy her ice cream. Oh, okay, maybe if I do some more things for her, I can get further. And then next thing you know, we walking down the aisle, we getting married. Now we got kids, we got houses, we got jobs we hate. I know someone who is very comfortable financially and in an amazing job that anybody would be proud to have. But that gentleman is miserable in that job. He's in that job because it pays the bills. He really wants to do something else that pays a quarter of what he makes now. You know, so guys are getting into their 40s and 50s and saying, I'm miserable because they never wanted to do this thing, but they did it because the girl was pretty and she smiled at him and he liked how he felt. And next thing he know, he's married with 2 kids and a big old house and cars and it is what it is. Yeah, but the woman is like, I got the American dream. My husband's successful. He's attractive. He's faithful. We have a beautiful home. We have nice kids. We pay for school. We pay for extracurricular activities. I don't worry about finances. I'm in a safe place. And she's trying to figure out, wait a minute, now that I got a little fat, now you want to divorce me? No, it's not because you gained a couple of pounds if we're going to be serious, because he didn't gain some weight. It's because it really was never what he really wanted. It just kept going. But in order for him to keep getting the thing that he was getting, he had to keep doing things like, you know, paying bills and paying for dates and being nice to you on a daily basis. And, you know, it's a thing. And so we got a lot of rules on the table, you know, and it's tough. But I love that we are in the age of rise of woman. I am woman, hear me roar. I am right in the middle of with you guys because I like to see the guys with the hoochie daddies. I was having brunch with my siblings yesterday, and the restaurant we were in, the gentleman from Centos came in, and he had on them shorts, and them shorts was about 1.5 inches. They weren't quite 2 inches, but you could see the muscles in the shirt, and you saw the muscles in the legs, and I was just like, and he had brother locks, and I was like, ooh. You know,
where did it? Let's go.
I know, right? And he was an attractive brother, you know, and I was looking at him, and my poor brother was just like, what are you doing? You know, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, big brother. My sister was side-eyeing him too.
Look, like, let's be real. Like, women, we are visual creatures too.
Just like men.
Yeah. Right? At the end of the day, you know, the theory goes like, you know, men go for women with looks and women go for money, right? But like me, I don't care how much money you make. I mean, I don't care anyway. But I need to be attracted to you. I gotta tell you.
I need to be attracted to you. There's 2 things that I want to tell people to look at. Go on YouTube and search Crazy Hot Matrix. There's one for the women, and then there's one for the men. And with the men, it says there comes a point on the men's Crazy Hot Matrix dot graph is that the more money a man makes, the more unattractive he can be, and he'll still be able to get a woman that's between a 7 and a 10, because it is what it is. You know, he's providing stability. However, when you're younger, everybody wants somebody they're attracted to, you know? So I think attraction is the thing that gets both of us both ways. Now, what keeps our attention is, you know, do you have a personality? So, and that's the thing that men are not understanding now. You just having money is not a thing that's going to guarantee you a second date. Do you have a personality? Can we have a conversation? Is there something in you besides that you go to work and come home and let the couch grow out the back of your head? You know, we are expecting more from men than just provisions at this point.
Yes, we are almost out of time, but I have to carry this conversation a little bit longer.
Okay.
As you talk about that, I just thought about the whole idea of, it's great that you make money, but in today's society, we make money, so that you got to be eye candy.
You got to be eye candy, and you got to have a personality, because people say women. You made a comment. You said, my man doesn't need to have money. But here's the thing, because I know you, the type of man that you like, even if he is the head fry guy at McDonald's when you first meet him, he's not going to be there long. Give him 2 years, he's going to have a franchise, because he has a personality and he has drive and he has ambition. So it doesn't matter where a person is. It's what are they doing with their potential? What are their skills, desires, and abilities? And are they meeting them? Are they maximizing them? Are they pushing themselves? That's what women want to know. And so, no, I don't care if I make more money than you or you make more money than me. That's irrelevant, because money is just it's a tool. We use money so that we can enjoy life. We use money to go on our trips. We use money to give away to the community. We use money to bless family members and friends with. Great. It's great if you have it, but if you don't, I can help you get it. So getting the bag and securing it is not that hard. You just got to have the skills, desire, and ability. That's it.
And some hoochie daddy shorts.
And please, guys, do leg day. Please do leg day.
Leg day, chest day.
Yeah. Well, they do chest and arms. But it was funny because one of my guy friends, he's so funny. He made a video talking about these women got me out here in these hoochie daddy shorts, and he fans the camera down so that we can see his legs. And I promise you, Kermit the Frog got bigger calves.
Oh. So I'm gonna need you to hit the gym, homie. I need you to hit the gym and then try again next year, because I don't know.
But at least he was willing to put them on.
So I don't know if you're gonna get it by the end of the summer, but maybe next summer you can join the hoochie daddy.
The hoochie daddy pageant.
The hoochie daddy pageant.
Yes, there's a pageant.
Oh God, I gotta be
so
down.
I was really hoping that Tessa was going to pop in for us today, because she started the hoochie daddy registration for the pageant. She's out of one of the southern states, and so there's a hoochie daddy pageant.
A hoochie daddy pageant. So if you want to enter the hoochie daddy pageant, you need to contact Monica.
Yes, just reach out. You can hit me up at monica@balancedbodynetwork.com.
For the hoochie. In the subject, put hoochie daddy pageant.
Put hoochie daddy pageant and send me a picture of you in your hoochie daddy shorts. Do not send me any images of you without your hoochie daddy shorts. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't send me those. I don't want them. They need to be, everything needs to be confined inside of the hoochie daddy shorts. We only want to see thigh meat. The thighs is attached to the kneecaps. Not the iliac crest.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This has been a great conversation, but unfortunately, we out of time. We actually a little overtime.
Oh,
but,
we are.
I do thank you again, Monica, for always coming on here and just being Monica, just being so open, so transparent. But guys, all jokes aside, we do have fun, but it is the rise of the woman. It is the evolution of woman. And she is coming for everything that she wants and deserves. And it's very important to understand that we come in harder than we ever came before.
Absolutely. And we know what we want this time.
Yeah. And we have the tools to get what we want.
Yeah.
We're
educated. I told someone, I said, I'm not just cute, I'm actually functional, so, we can get
we can read now.
Yeah, she said we can read.
We can read now, right? We can read. So there's that. Drop your information so people can hit you up.
Monica Alexander, Monica at balancedbodynetwork.com. And we can chat about it.
Oh, drop your TikTok.
Oh, TikTok, Urban Escapee, UrbanEscapee. And it's because I was leaving urban America and gonna go to rural America, and I was gonna do a whole TikTok about that. But that's not what my TikTok ended up being. So go and enjoy. I am in a Pooh Bear onesie. I am in a bikini, in my kayak. I am on top of my Jeep with my booty in the air. Yeah, just go and enjoy.
Go check out Monica. Urban Escape.
Urban Escapee.
All
Yes,
right,
indeed.
yeah. So I will be back next week.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll figure it out between now and then. So everybody stay tuned. If you missed it, you can always go back and rewatch. I am live, but it stays here forever. So I cannot take anything that I said back because it's out there now, right?
It's out
So
there.
it is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So you can just go to ivnicole.com and follow me across all social media platforms. All right, y'all. We are out.